Okay, here we are, live and direct. Welcome again, my fellow Eternals, to another sunny Sunday of the One Great I Am Awakening. I'm Chris Taylor, one of your hosts, my co-host and partner in spirit and mind. Sir T will be joining us momentarily, a bit caught up with work and whatnot, but we'll be here in a few to fellowship with us. All right, so just hold your horses for the meantime. In the meantime, I see that we have someone new here, Benita Williams. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name properly, but welcome to the One Great I Am Awakening. Um, you're in for a very wonderful treat. So take notes, either physically or mentally, preferably physically, where you could go back and review what you have heard. But we're also going to have the recording as we're going live on YouTube to also revisit what's going to be said today. All right, today we have a lesson from Neville. Um, it is done in AI, so and it's short, but it's very clear and precise what we're going to be talking about today. Again, today's lesson is persistent faith. What is that all about? Okay, all right, thank you, and it's our absolute pleasure, to have you here. So, um, hope this will not be the last, but we're going to make it as educational as possible. Okay. So what we're doing here, guys, like I said, today's lesson is from Neville. I never got a tip. Um, the title of it is "What is Faith?" That is the title of the tape. Our lesson is going to be on persisting in that faith. Okay. So we're going to play the audio, and we're going to be interrupting momentarily to just basically expound upon some of the stuff that is going to be said. All right. We may revert to some scripture to also back that up. Also have my book here, the Never Got a Collection, 14 books in here. I'm going to read some of the excerpts from here from one of his most, according to most people, his most profound book, The Power of Awareness. That book is probably Never's biggest seller or most read or listened to. And I'm going to talk about chapter 25, which is, you guessed it, faith. All right. So we're going to cover some of that stuff on chapter 25 and maybe some other stuff from the book, from the Bible itself. But I digress. Let's jump into the lesson. And we're going to come back momentarily. So again, it is titled, the tape is titled, "What is Faith?" I think that's important to know, because we probably really didn't or don't understand what faith is. Sometimes it's just a word that's thrown around there by religious individuals and even people who are not religious. So what is faith? But our lesson is how to persist in faith. Once you know what faith is, it requires persistence. All right. So persistent faith is our practical lesson of today. So let's jump into the video or the tape, the audio, and we're going to be right back to discuss some of the stuff that will be mentioned. All right. And again, I want to acknowledge that we have about 8 of us here. We have Laurencia, we have Mark, we have Sir Devon, Janice, welcome again. Charmin, my sister, Charmin Taylor, well, sister in spirit. And of course, our new um, comer, our new participant here, Fanita Williams. Thank you for joining. Like I said, Sir T should be joining us in the interim. Maybe this is him, I don't know. uh, I don't know. Sir T, is that you? Oh, there he is.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm running a little bit late behind here, multitasking as usual. But it's just another morning that we're gonna continue to press forward, trying to master the art of imagining, the art of pretending, the art of living in the end. So we'll tune in one more time to the master himself, Mr. Neville Goddard. Still very grateful to this gentleman for the legacy that he has left behind. He left this phase of life a few months before I was born, some 52 years ago. But the things that he has taught us is still very practical and very applicable today. And we strive to master the art of living in the end, bringing what we consider to be the end. When I say the end, I'm talking the end of your desire, the fulfilled desire, to bring it to you, to bring it to the present tense. We strive to master the art of not pushing off the fulfilled desire to being a future event, but to live the fulfilled desire presently without the evidence, without the actual evidence of the manifestation. You have to live, feel the evidence even before it becomes five sensory to you. Even before you are able to see the evidence fulfilled, you first have to live it. You first have That's how you draw it into your experience by assuming, let me use the word again, assuming. We must be persistent in assuming that the end is here, the end is now. The fulfilled desire is present with us now. So rather than thinking of the fulfilled desire, we must master the art of thinking from it. If you're thinking of it, that means that you've separated yourself from it and it's out there in the distance. But if you're thinking from it, it means that your thoughts are generated out of the experience of the fulfilled desire. Never will explain it a lot better than I am trying to explain it here in the tape that we're about to listen to. And I'm sure Sir Chris, when he puts his spin on it, it will even bring it home nearer to us. All right, Sir Chris, back over to you, sir.
Yes, Sir T, thank you for that introduction here. Very well said. I'm sure everybody hungry right now after hearing all of that and ready to eat. So let's as I said earlier, jump into the audio from Never Goddard, our inspirational, spiritual teacher, Been listening to him for quite some time, but we're still babies to this knowledge. Never was very, very advanced and whatnot. We are just scratching the scratch of the surface. Okay, but nonetheless, we're making progress. So let's go ahead and jump into the tape, and we'll be right back. We were listening to The Secret earlier. Not sure if all of you have listened to The Secret, heard The Secret, heard of The Secret, but I'll tell you what, so glad I was exposed to it some, what was it, 21, not 21, 19 years ago. Yeah, almost 20 years. All right, so here we are, our tape of today. What is faith? And it's going to be covering a lesson on persistent faith. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, faith is the foundation upon which all miracles are built. It is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When we speak of faith, we are not referring to blind belief, but to a profound inner knowing, a conviction that what we desire is already ours. Imagine for a moment the power of assumption. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to act as if your desire has already been realized. This is the essence of faith. By living in the end, by experiencing your desire as if it has already been fulfilled, you align yourself with the very reality you seek to create. Imagination plays a crucial role in cultivating faith. When you vividly imagine your desired outcome, you begin to embody it, to live it in your mind and heart. This is not mere daydreaming, it is a deliberate and conscious act of creation. Through imagination, you plant the seeds of your future reality. Persistence is key. Faith is not a fleeting moment of belief, but a steadfast commitment to the reality of your desire. It requires you to hold on to your vision, even when circumstances seem to contradict it. Persistence in maintaining faith is what transforms dreams into reality. Consider your inner conversations. What are you telling yourself on a daily basis? These inner dialogues shape your beliefs and consequently your reality. By cultivating positive, faith-filled inner conversations, you reinforce the belief in your desired outcome. Your self-concept, the way you perceive yourself, is intrinsically linked to your faith. To manifest your desires, you must see yourself as already possessing them. This shift in self-concept is a powerful act of faith that propels you towards your goals. Doubt and fear are the adversaries of faith. To overcome them, you must anchor yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This feeling, this deep-seated belief in the reality of your desire, dispels doubt and banishes fear. Feeling is the secret to manifestation. It is not enough to simply think about your desires, you must feel them as real. This feeling of certainty, of knowing that your desire is already yours, is the cornerstone of faith. Faith is not a one-time act, it is a daily practice. Each day you must embody your desires, live them in your imagination, and act as if they are already realized. This consistent
All right, so I want to stop there briefly and just emphasize some of what Neville just mentioned there. Firstly, by going back to the very beginning where he said that, I have it here from his book, The Power of Awareness, Chapter 5, Faith. Listen to what this says right here. A miracle is the name given by those who have no faith to the works of faith. However, Hebrew 11 verse 1 says it like this: faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is Hebrew 11 verse 1, 1. Interesting. So when you hear people talk about a miracle, it's because they don't know how things happen. They lack the knowledge, as it says here, those who have no faith to the works of faith. So they don't know how faith works. And so when something happens, it's like a magic. It's magical. It's like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. So that's what they see a miracle as, something they cannot explain. And they think it's, something supernatural falls out of the sky, right place at the right time, luck, you name it. But faith is the substance of things that you desire without any evidence of it seen, okay? You don't see the evidence, but you are faithful to the desire. Never mentioned here is something that you have to be steadfast in. You have to remain in that assumption that the thing desired already is. You already have it. Now, I know that sounds almost backwards because if you desire a new, house or car or a pay raise or a new job or a trip to, you know, your favorite desired location, wherever that may be, in the present moment, it's not evident. And that's what the scripture just says here. The evidence of whatever you desire not seen. But the only way it is going to happen, because it's not happening right now in the present moment, but the only way it's going to happen is for you to remain attached to it in a way where you already accept its appearance. So what you have to do, you have to shut down the five senses. You have to shut off your conscious mind. You have to get rid of the mind. The mind is not the mind of wisdom. When people mention mind, they're primarily talking about your conscious mind. It is not the mind of not of wisdom. Okay? There is a deeper mind within you. We call it the universe. Anytime they mention the universe, that's the mind they're talking about, the universal mind, known as the subconscious or superconscious. That mind is the mind of wisdom and knows how to bring forth your desire, but only if you persist in faith, in having it in your mind. So the first place you have to have it is in your mind. Once you have it in your mind, you will have it in your experience, but you have to first have it there first in your mind. There's a scripture that says, to he that hath will be given. Okay? To he that hath will be given. But to he that hath not, that which he already has will be taken away. And that sounds cruel, but it's talking about your faith. To he that have faith, much will be given, but to he that have no faith, then whatever you're desiring, that will be taken away. You understand? Because you have no faith in his delivery. I see Sir T has his hand up. Go ahead, Sir T.
Yes, sir, Chris. What's the name of today's lesson again? It's persistent faith, right?
Persistent faith, yes.
Therein lies the problem. I think we all have faith for a moment.
Yeah.
I think we all have faith when we are fired up, when you first hear, let's say you first hear of this thing that we're talking about now, that through the imagination, through the assumption that you have your wish fulfilled, it can be brought to you. And we have that faith when we first hear it. And I'm talking about myself here. The problem is to remain persistent faith. The problem is that once we start see evidence that is contrary to our desire, to our fulfilled desire, then our faith starts to wane. We no longer feel as if the desired end is ours. But that is the time when we should be. That's a time when you stand 10 toes down. When the less evidence you see is the more faith you should have. I know it sounds kind of contrary and contradicting, but the less faith you see, the less evidence you see is the more faith you should exhibit. Stand 10 toes down, and how do you exhibit your faith? You exhibit your faith through feeling, feeling as if this happened. That's what faith is. Feel as if this happened. So the more you can look into the 3 dimensional world and you're not seeing it happen, is the more you should feel as if it already happened. It's so easy for talk, probably hard for do. And again, I'm talking to myself. It's so easy to talk, hard to do, but there's no other way to do it. So you might as well buy into it and be persistent, as Lawrence here just put in the chat. You might as well buy into it and be consistent, persistent, because there is no other way to do it. There is no other way to do it. We have to remain. We are off to a great start, whether you believe it or not. The first step to doing something successfully is to know how to do it. And that's probably the easier part of the equation. Knowing how to do it is probably easier because somebody can tell you how to do it. Doing it is where it becomes more challenging because nobody can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. Somebody can tell you how to do it. You can even tell yourself how to do it. But doing it is another matter. And the doing of it requires consistency. So, Chris, I've struggled with consistency for most of my life, maybe my whole life. I've struggled with consistency to be persistent and consistent with anything. I'm just being very transparent to you guys. I've struggled with being consistent. I get off to great starts in most things that I do. But to complete the circle, to complete the job requires, I think, consistency. It requires persistent faith. And this is a habit that we have to cultivate. We have to cultivate that habit where you remain persistent, consistent in your assumption, even when you don't see the evidence. I'm getting better at this, Chris. I'm getting better at this. And I'm inviting everybody here to do the same. Work at yourself. Spend time within. Because the consistency of this, is to remain within. Because on the outside, in the outer world, in the three-dimensional world, in the world of five senses, where you're seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling, as present, you are not seeing the evidence of your desire. You're not seeing it. So you have to you have to leave the outside world a lot and return to the inside world where things are correct. On the inside world, you are assuming and seeing things the way it ought to be. But on the outside world, it is not so currently. So you have to leave the outside world. Consistently in scripture, you will see where Jesus departed from among the people and went away to a place by himself. It's not necessarily a point of going away to, it's going within. That's where you go to a place by yourself. It's going within. You have to spend a lot of time on the inside because on the inside, you don't need any help to make things right. You can go within at any time and assume things to be the way they ought to be. But on the outside, you don't know how to make it happen. So you have to spend a lot of time in the factory. The factory is the inner world where you can go and you can manufacture and make things the way you desire them to be. The, the point, though, is that when you open your eyes and return to the three-dimensional world, you have to believe the inner world that you created more than you believe the outer world that's showing you some evidence that is contrary to what you created on the inside. That's where the persistence and the consistency is required, is when you come back and open your eyes and you are not seeing what you were seeing on the inside. What are you going to believe? Are you going to believe what you're seeing on the outside, or are you going to believe what you just created on the inside? I think blasphemy I think the wickedest form of blasphemy is to go within and create something and then come on the outside and deny your own creation. You shall not be held guiltless if you do that. You will 100% bear the consequences of that. If you, uh, I mean, what kind of man don't believe his own works? Again, I'm talking to myself. I'm here this morning, I'm kneeling myself to the cross this morning. What kind of man does not believe in his own work? Gregory? What manner of man are you? If you can't believe in your own creations that you know you went in and you felt peace within when you went on the inside and assumed that this thing is the way it ought to be and fell asleep in that assumption at peace. If you cannot now wake up tomorrow morning and assume that that peaceful place that you put yourself in before you fell asleep, that peaceful place is a place that you can resort when you will always be able to experience that, then I mean, what manner of man are you? What manner of man am I? Paul said it in the book of Romans. I mean, it tell you when he said, "How wretched man am I? The thing that I don't want to do, that I do, and the thing that I want to do, me can't do it." Struggling. It requires consistency, persistency, and so, Chris, we can do it. We have a young lady with our hand raised. Yes, sir, Chris. Let's give her the microphone.
Go ahead, Miss J.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Who's,
that's it. That's it. But
how you doing, Ed? Welcome back.
yeah, that's it. Um,
Said. What's up? What's up, Said?
hey, I agree with everything that both of y'all are saying for the simple fact that you gotta walk by faith. You can't walk by sight. So I get that part of it. But where the conflict come in that to me, what I struggle with my faith is the things that I pray for is not never happening. So I'm kind of like on the edge of, does this really exist, or we just mindful of things that are told to us and what we should believe in? And if that makes sense, I want you to let it make sense, because it's kind of hard to, when you know that you're doing the right things and you keep constantly praying, you're a God-fearing man. We all know we got to leave this earth. I get that part of it, and I'm not afraid of dying because death is already promised here. Everybody got to travel that way. But when you walking and you trying to walk upright and you have so many obstacles coming towards you, are you being challenged by God? Because God, my confusion comes in that he said that I am love. So why would a God that's merciful love us so much, but take us through so many trials? And I have not yet found anyone can give me the answer on that. And when somebody can make it make sense to me, then my faith might grow stronger, because it's not doubting God, it's the doubted mindset that I have. Because I know I'm doing everything I can in my willpower to try to be a good husband, to be a good person to people and walk in love and treat people the right way that I want to be treated. But all I get is backlash and badness out of everything that I try to do good. So when somebody can give me an answer on that, my faith will grow. So I have doubt. So we all walk in doubt.
Wow. Hey,
Hey, Chris, can I add something on that?
you said a mouthful right there. Said, but we're gonna make it make sense.
Chris,
We're
can I
gonna
add one thing to that?
stick around. Go ahead, Mr. Sunshine.
All right. Well, one thing I would say, sir, is you're using the word try. Try implicitly means doubt. It means I'm going to give forth effort, but don't expect success. So if you're using the word try, you're not expecting yourself to succeed right off the bat. So it starts with your self-talk. You're either going to do something and it's going to work or it's not. So you're either going to do it and have to do it again, or you're going to do it and get it done. But either way, there's no trying about it. So that's what I would say. Start to eliminate the doubt by eliminating that word try. And you go out and do it. And you do it again and again and again until it succeeds or comes out the way you want. Just wanted to add that.
And
Preach that word, brother.
Respectfully, I respect that, because you're right. You know, I hate to use the word. I hate when my son or somebody say, man, I can't do this, I can't do that. So I agree with you on that. So it starts within the person. I get where you're coming from.
I'd like to add something also.
Go ahead, Lorenzo.
Hi, my name is Lorencia. It first starts within. When you was a little boy, when you was growing up, what did your parents tell you? How did they speak to you? Your woman, is she speaking life into you? Because there's power in the tongue. Okay, just like Sunshine said, you know, you keep using the word try. Are the people around you positive? You know, do you have like life-speaking people around you? Do you speak life over yourself? Do you get up every day and look at yourself in the mirror and say, today, I am powerful. Today, I'm going to make it. Today, anything that goes bad, I'm going to turn it into positivity. Today, this is my day to conquer it. Today is another day for me to go harder than I did yesterday. See, if we don't empower ourselves, your cup is always going to remain empty. And what I'm picking up from you is like, you want to do good because that's what the words say. You want to do good to people, be nice to people, love on people. But first, you must love on yourself. And you have to understand that you love yourself. I cannot give you love if I don't love on myself. God say, if I cannot love my neighbor, then how can you say you love me? So if my cup is not full, then how can I fill somebody else's cup? The grass has to be greener on this side first before it could be greener on the other side. So that means I have to empower me first and charge me first in the morning. Spend time with yourself. You know, listen to healing music. You know, like there's so many things out there, you know, and I feel like you're a powerful man, but it's there's something there that's missing. And what's missing is the power that is within you that's not activated to make you sure of who you are and what you are, because you are a high priest, you are a king, and you need to walk in that status. And it's like you're doubting yourself, you're lukewarm. 1 minute you say, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. The next minute you're like, I'm not gonna, I fail at it. You're more looking at the failure than the positivity. You know what I'm saying? You're more looking at everything I try, I fail at it. Well, what if you're a frontline warrior? What if that's what you're built to do, is to be a frontline warrior? Nothing is easy about a frontline warrior. We always gonna take blows. It's what we do with the blows. Do we stand up or do we lay down? That's all I have to say.
Powerful, powerful, very, very powerful. And that's so true. I guess, you know, I'm gonna chime in and just say this. I don't like to make excuses about my life because I have accomplished a lot of great things. But you're right on so many levels, because I guess it's my upbringing. I didn't have that embrace of a father, embrace of a mother. So I'm out here doing this on my very own for the know-hows that I have. So it's kind of difficult to deal with because I never felt love, but I give so much love. So that's why I think my problem is coming in at. And it's not that I don't identify with myself, because I definitely identify with myself. I stay well groomed. I'm a very spoken man. I speak the truth, and I walk in love. So I mean, is everything that you said, it makes sense. I agree with you. I agree with what the lady said.
Okay, well said. Listen to this. Love you before you can love me. Because when you love me, I'm going to feel it. It's going to be magnetic. okay? But that love, you got to speak that kingly priest over you. You are a powerful young man. You was born for this, and you was born to love and to give love. But first, you have to know who is said. You have to know who you are. Okay, you wasn't raised in it, but you can also be in it, meaning speak it over yourself. I am loved. My children love me. My wife love me. I'm going to go out and conquer the world today. Today is my day. I am a king. Ooh, I look so good. You have to, people don't have to tell you these things. You're intelligent. You're brilliant. You've done a lot of great things for yourself. Come on, pat yourself on the back. You don't need nobody to pat yourself on the back. You could do that yourself, said. You have to walk by faith, and you cannot wobble with it. You have to know what you know, what you know. The knowing is inside of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Okay.
Hey, somebody preaching today.
No, that's real. That was some well spoken stuff, man. I needed to hear that because I woke up this morning with a mindset of being discouraged. I had a conversation with you the other day, Chris, and I told you what I was going through with my wife's situation and stuff, and it was hard on me. But I woke up with a little bit more strength in me today. And when you sent me to Zoom, I say, hey, I'm getting an invite to test my faith. And the devil wanted me to go and do everything else besides get on this Zoom. And I needed to hear the words that have spoken to me today. Because I'm intelligent enough and wise enough to know when God reaching out the sky to grab you and touch you on your shoulder and give you confirmation that I'm still God. I'm here for you. You got to be there for yourself. But in order for me to help you, do what I ask of you. That's why we have a mindset to be able to sit down and we think of things and we know what's right from wrong. So that everything that everybody been saying has lifted me up, and I want to continue to join these Zooms and these meetings because I need that. I need that in my life because I always walked around with nothing but doubt. Like, am I doing enough? So it's powerful. It's powerful. This is powerful, man. And everybody have spoken so well, and I need that. I'm screaming for it. I'm begging for it.
That's why you're here, said, not by accident. That's why I invited you here, so you can hear this message. Because I know it will resonate with your mind. So stick around. We're going to hear some more. It's going to resonate even more.
So Chris,
Yes, sir, T.
morning again, brother. Said big up yourself, man, and continue to big up yourself. Said continue to pour into yourself, brother. Continue to, as Laurencia just explained to you so well. There is nothing wrong with. I don't want to use the word chastise. That's a powerful word. That's a powerful word. But there's nothing wrong with you having a conversation with yourself and point out your shortcomings to yourself so that you can address them. But at the end of that session, make sure that you reinforce unto yourself that I am a powerful man. I have accomplished a lot. And the same fountain where that accomplishment came from is still available to me. So you can always do what you've done before. You can always accomplish whatever you accomplished before. Always remind yourself of that.
Yes, sir.
All right. And Sir Chris, we have GMAC on, and GMAC is not going to be available for very long. So if we could relinquish the microphone to him for a minute, so GMAC can pour into us. And GMAC, I fully appreciate you, my brother. You are, you know what? I won't even go down that road, but you know what you mean to me as a virgin. That we go a long way back, and the whole concept of consciousness was first introduced to me by GMAC, this brother that is about to speak right now. GMAC.
Okay, I appreciate that, man.
Hey, Mark. G to the Mark. You doing, sir?
Yes, love and blessings, love and blessings. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Let me ask you a question first.
Yes, sir.
Did Sir T call it this?
No, yes, he did. He did, but he didn't do it physically. He did it from his true self, the true self, which is the spirit of consciousness. So, um, funny enough,
About the
funny
last.
enough,
That's why I'm
I
saying.
love, I love that question you asked, because I'm gonna explain the detail to you, right? I am a football fan,
Yeah.
and Barcelona is playing now, my team. So I am turning on the TV now, tuning in, and some inner feeling, that heavy feeling comes to me and said, listen, you need to link right now. You need to call him right now and tell him, say, you need to speak for 5 to 10 minutes in the group. Because I don't know who, I don't know who was, uh, yeah, can you hear me? A call was coming in. Sorry about that.
Yes, can I hear you, man?
Right. So I really don't know who wanted to hear these words, but I know the consciousness, the intuition was so heavy, that feeling, that gut feeling, speak to me and said, no, you have to talk in the group today for 5 to 10 minutes. So I reach out to him, I call him, and him say, yeah, him start laugh. Beauty, man. Beautiful. Beautiful when you're aligned. You don't have to use your physical mouth or ears, because you are not that physical. You're not physical. You're spiritual. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
what I came into the group and hear a while ago is such a beauty when I hear, everyone speak in this manner. It shows that consciousness is alive. It shows that God is taking full control um at this present moment, and we're allowing the spirit and the presence of the Most High to speak within us, you know? Uh, can you hear me?
Yes, man.
Yes.
Clear.
Okay. All right. Good. 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 Good.
Stage is
Any
yours.
any 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 other questions, sir? Sir T, Sir Chris?
No, I was just saying that I thought about it last night. I mean, I said it's been a long time since I seen or heard G-Man on the show.
Yes.
To myself last night, and I just left it right there, Like
Well, yeah,
I'm saying to myself, I want to see if G-Man can go show up today. As I said that to myself. So that's why I'm
well,
asking.
the most beautiful thing about this thing is that when these things happen, it's only a confirmation of who we truly are, our true self. You know, um, I've been telling, I've been speaking a lot from the other day on the mission of getting this information more out there. Why? Because we tend to focus that we are the mind and we are the body, when we are not the mind and we're not the body. We are a spirit, right?
Yeah.
Now, operating from the mind and the body, it's operating from the lowest frequency. So when it comes on to manifestations and creating, it becomes extremely difficult, because people are saying, I am blessed, I am wealthy, I am successful, I am peace, I am love. It is a beautiful thing to start, it's a beautiful way to start, but it is not the most powerful, because we have 7 chakras. And that chakra from the I am is the lowest frequency. But when you say, I feel blessed, I feel wealthy, I feel amazing, that's a huge, huge difference. When you say, I understand that wealth is easy to achieve. When you say peace and love is easy to achieve. When you say, I understand that this life is beautiful and abundant. That's a whole new different ball game. Yeah, because what we have to understand is that if you have a car, then you won't say, I have a car, I have a car, I have a car. No. You already know that you have the car. So you don't speak like that. You know you have the car. You are conscious that you already have the car. Yeah? Anyone following me so far?
Yes.
So take out the mind. Stop operating from the mind. Stop operating from the body, because that is the lowest frequency vibration. We are consciousness. Consciousness is spirit. Spirit also means breath. That is conscious. I just conscious that I inhale and exhale. That's why when we were younger and we get into like a temper, our parents would say, count to 10, count to 10. It's not a matter of counting to 10, it's about focusing on the breath. Every time you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. By the time you reach 6, you start toning down because the breath start taking charge. You start becoming conscious that, oh, I am pausing. I am getting out of that angry feeling. So it's actually the breath, which is the breath is spirit, and the breath is actually consciousness. What I really call to talk about today is when you operate from the spirit, which is consciousness, spirit cannot hold anything, right? First and foremost, spirit cannot hold anything. You agree with me? Yeah?
Sure.
When you're in the spirit, you cannot hold on to a car key, a house key, or nothing like that. Spirit doesn't carry anything. Spirit is just like the wind. Spirit is just like water, just flowing. Spirit just like the heat, just being around, being present.
Yeah.
So the key that I come to talk about is attachment and detachment. When you're operating from the mind and the body, and when you're saying these affirmations from the mind and the body, you're saying it with attachment because you're getting attached to wealth, to peace, to love, to health. Don't get attached. That's the key. The key is be empty, be detached. The moment you're attached, then you have desires. Yeah? I want to know if anyone in the group have desires. Is there any desires? Is anything, anyone trying to manifest anything? I'm going to give you a very, very powerful way to achieve whatever you want to achieve. Yeah? Let me hear some voice or anything like,
Yes, sir. I have desires. I have unfulfilled desires at this moment, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. I love that. So let us clear the ear then, right? When you have desires, that means you are operating from the mind and the body. You might not be conscious about it. You might be unconscious and say, no, I am not operating from the mind and the body, but you are, because once you have any form of desire, that simply means there is a lack. Think about it. If you have desire, do you desire to have, if you already have a laptop or a cell phone, yeah, as simple as a cell phone, do you have a cell phone? If you have a nice cell phone and you love cell phone and you have the cell phone that you want, will your desire be for that same cell phone that you have?
No.
Thank you. Why?
No.
Ah,
Because you have it and you're conscious, you're aware that you have it.
wonderful. So you're not attached to it because, and you don't have any desire for it because you already have it. Now, if you're operating from the spirit actually have everything already. The spirit is everything. The spirit of God controls everything. That's why the Bible, I'm going back to the Bible, seek the kingdom of God and everything will be added unto you. Now, what is the definition of God? Who is God? The
Your
Bible
uncle.
tells us who is God. The Bible says God is a spirit, and those who worship must worship in
Spirit and in truth.
Ah, so if you worship in spirit and you know that spirit is in you, why do you have desires? God have everything already. God already have everything. So when you operate from the spirit, you are lack of nothing, and
All right, son.
you already know that you have the cell phone. So there's no desire. Only thing you have to do when you close your eyes, you look inwards, and you already see yourself using that cell phone. That's where never God had come in and say, imagination is the key. Because when you look inwards or operating from the spirit, you are actually there already, enjoying whatever already. And when you operate from the spirit, time and space don't exist.
Mm.
The spirit is always present. The spirit never goes in the past and never goes in the future, because only the mind lives in the past and the future. The mind only exists through thoughts, and thoughts are only past and future. When you are present, thoughts don't exist. If you are making love to your spouse, that mind is only focusing on here and now. If you are a creator, like a graphic designer, and you are so fully in designing this art, your mind is not straying on what happened yesterday or what is to come tomorrow. It is fully in that zone of creativity, that flow state. So you become one with whatever your focus attention is.
True.
There's no attachment. There's only detachment. Once you detach, because spirit cannot be attached, there's nothing physical that spirit can hold onto. So when you operate as a spirit, you detach from everything. And that is the key factor for you to know if your mind is being active to take away your presence, take away that spirit, and create an illusion as if you think you are operating from the spirit. There's certain key factors to know. Anytime you have any desires, you're operating from the physical perspective. Yeah?
It's deep.
Absolutely.
We clear on that? We good at that?
Yes, that's deep, man.
That's
I always ask this question. What comes first? Is it the egg or the chicken? Is it the seed or is it the tree?
Mm.
Let me hear from you, man. I love to have conversation. I love to hear other voice, man. What comes first? Think about it. Is it the egg
The chicken,
or is it the chicken?
the chicken come first and the seed come first.
Okay, that is one answer.
I agree.
And what come? Huh?
I agree with her.
After is the egg.
Okay, so you said the chicken come first.
Right.
Okay.
Wait.
Who's next?
Okay. Maybe the egg come first. No, the egg come first and the chicken comes after. Yeah, something like that.
G-Mark, this is what I said. Either.
Oh, wait, 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute, Sir Chris. Mr. Thomas is not allowed because we have this conversation before.
All right. I want to say something. So the chicken has to come first because the chicken has the protein that actually creates the shell of the egg. So you can't have the shell without having the chicken. So the chicken has to come first.
Wonderful.
That's what I thought.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Sir Chris?
Yeah. That's a universal question. Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? And to me, that implies a, when you talk about who is God, who is consciousness, no beginning, no end.
Yes.
Can't tell the beginning or the end, it just is.
Ah, that's the key, my brother. That's the key. The chicken and the egg is there, but I want to explain it even more in detail. Now, everything is consciousness. In the beginning, let there be light, and there was light. That means God was conscious that there needs to be light. So he said, let there be light. So whosoever is, if you go home now in the night and the room is dark, the place is dark, what's the first thing you do?
Turn on the light.
Okay, why you turn on the light?
Because it's dark.
Ah, you're conscious that it is dark, and you're conscious that, hey, I need light. Well, picture this. It's the same thing with the egg and the chicken. Consciousness was there before the egg and the chicken, because consciousness creates human beings, the lions, the tigers, the fish, the bird. God have to be conscious to create a lion, to know how the lion digestive system work, what power is he physically does the lion have to manipulate and to survive in the jungle. Just like same thing with the fish in the sea, same thing with the bird in the sky. You know, God has to be conscious of what he's creating. If mankind is creating a plane, making a plane, that mechanic has to be conscious of how much air pressure, how much passenger, how much heavy weight and load can hold in the sky. You have to be conscious before you create the plane. So it's the same thing. Every living being, trees, plants, fruits, animals, human beings, whatever it is, every life form, there was consciousness before. And then consciousness turns into I consciousness, meaning that the bird now starts to say, I am a bird. And the human being said, I am a human being. And the lion said, I am a lion, right? And then that I consciousness moved into body consciousness. So it changed from I into body consciousness, how it is shaped, how it is formed, how it operates in the body. And then that consciousness now, that body consciousness end up get lost into the body itself. And then now we as human being thinks that we are the mind, and we now think that we are the mind and the body. So when we look in the mirror, we're saying, oh, this is me, this is me, this is me. But we are way bigger than this mind and body. We are consciousness. And that's why we cannot look at the egg and the chicken and say the chicken come first or the egg come first. Is consciousness come first? But we get trapped in the mindset of the programming that when we were born, we get trapped in that mindset that, oh, mommy, who is mommy? How do we know that this person is mommy? Because mommy say, call me mommy. Daddy say, call me daddy. Yeah. And
Yep.
if we're in an English speaking country, then we will speak English. But if we're in Mexico, we speak Spanish. If we're in France, we speak French. So we were born as blank sheet of paper, like really blank, and then we take on to the shape and the environment of everything, which is conscious. A conscious in the womb takes on that consciousness of the thought process of mom, right?
Yes.
Right. But we were way before in that womb. There was an egg in mom, and there was a sperm in dad. So we were way before this, long before this. We are consciousness. So the first thing is to enter the kingdom of God, we have to enter like a child. Who is a child? A child is a blank sheet of paper. We taught the children, we teach the children, but we were blank. Is what we're teaching that we were conscious of what we're teaching them? Because we're telling them that they're the mind and the body. Yeah. And that's how we got that knowledge, that and we think that we were the mind, we are the mind and we are the body, when we are way beyond the mind and the body. We are spirits traveling through dimensions and multiple dimensions. That's why we can dream. If we're the body, how we can dream? Where does that dream come from? How did we think about someone and that person just call with same time or message us same time? What is it that is operating right there? Because that's not the mind, that's not the body working right there. Who is that? What is that?
Got to be awareness.
Ah, beautiful. Awareness, consciousness, spirit, breath, it's all the same meaning, just different words. So never be limited. I am an unlimited being living in an unlimited universe, receiving from an unlimited source. So when we watch the Star Trek's movie and the Alien movie, we see they beaming themselves out of space and beaming themselves from one location to another. Then why we limit ourselves to the human? What about the being? Human being, we're being ourselves. We're being in a musician state of mind, being in an electrician state of mind, being in a carpenter or a plumber state of mind. We can change career anytime as long as we focus on the information, on the technology. A lot of us, YouTube is our teacher. So once we watch the YouTube, we learn, hey, we watched YouTube, we learned this. How? What happened? What caused that to happen? We are not limited. We are beyond this mind and beyond this body. And anytime we start seeing ourselves as spirit, not as this mind and body, we don't need to manifest. There's no need to manifest. We just be. Once the spirit is there, once you can see it, then you are it. Then you will experience it. But the beauty about this creation, the beauty about this lovely creation is it takes 17 seconds to fully focus on something to bring it in the physical experience. The beauty about it is that a lot of persons don't focus on stuff too long. Because if we were just creating by a split of a second, then this whole world would be very chaotic, like really chaotic. Mountains will be falling down, everything will be just crashing all over the place, because if that thought could just carry just like this, just imagine what would happen. So the beauty about God's creation, which is consciousness, is that it takes a certain level. By the fruit of your labor you shall, by the fruit of your labor, you shall
live. Birth.
That is it. So the only work is the inner work. The inner work. Forget about this, because this is not forever. Mind and body is temporary. Temporary. It's not you. What is you is way bigger. It's beautiful. It's blissful. It's amazing. Sir Chris, may I look on your background right now, and may I see some beautiful coconut tree and beach, and may I see the lovely clouds, but those are the physical name. What I'm seeing energy, frequency, vibration behind you. I'm seeing the trees moving. That means something is moving the trees. Something is causing the wave to come in. The clouds is there. It is going and coming. What is it that is going and coming? Everything is energy. Everything moves. That is all consciousness that we're looking on. So I feel so good to be a part of all you today, and it's just love. Half time now, say no, so my football. Yeah, man, but I give thanks, man. Give thanks to be here in the presence, in this consciousness, to share this love with you guys.
Yeah, man, fully appreciate the depth of the knowledge, my brother. And what I walk away with, if there's one thing I walk away with from all that you said, It's just the separation, the difference between the mind and the body
Yes.
and who you truly are, which is consciousness.
Yes.
The mind and the body is is a part of your existence that makes you an individual. It's what individualize you from the other person, because no two persons have the same body. Neither do we have the same conscious mind, because we all think differently. But the deeper essence of who we are, which is awareness, consciousness, we are all one and the same on that level. That's why that last night, Chris and I had a talk last night, and Chris never mentioned to me that he's thinking about you coming on the show.
Yes.
He and I had a conversation last night, and he never mentioned that to me. I woke up this morning and I almost pick up the phone to call you. And I said, no, I'm not calling you. I said, no, I'm not calling you. That's why when you call me, as soon as you call me, I just start laughing.
Yes, man.
Because
Yes,
on
man.
that level, on the level of consciousness, we are all one and the same, because consciousness is the only way. I never say it all the time, but now we're bringing it to the level when we can fully understand it. Consciousness is really the true reality. Or consciousness is where the chicken and the egg became one. Consciousness is where the seed and the tree became one.
Yes.
Consciousness is where you and I become one. Consciousness is where you and the Almighty, what we call God. Consciousness that's the level where you and God are mingled into one. That's where you become a part of that God.
Yes, because there's no duality between
Because
you and God.
there's no duality
That's why Christ and the Bible say, my Father and I are one.
on a conscious level. Correct.
Yes. My Father and I are one, because guess what? This is just the vessel. It's just the vehicle to carry the spirit around while in this dimension. But you can also close your eyes and go into a different dimension. You leave the body, because while you're sleeping, the spirit gone about its business.
Oh yeah.
The spirit is, look here, it's omnipresent. If you want to be conscious, to limit yourself to this mind and body, you have the power to do that. But you can also be in this body and also be underneath the water, millions of miles away, experiencing that thing. That's why people say they have an outer body experience, but they're still in the body, you know.
We
They're
all do.
still in
We
the
all
body.
have out of body experience. When you go to sleep and you're having a dream, that's an out of body experience. You're having an experience,
Exactly.
but you're not having it in the
Exactly.
body, in this present body. This body is fast asleep
Yes.
on the bed.
Yes. You're omnipresent. You're everywhere. Everywhere. But if you're not conscious, all right, let me not use the word conscious. If you do not, let me put the word conscious, because sometimes the word conscious, if we don't understand it to its entirety, we will just keep using it. So let me use layman term. If you don't understand that you can be in this body and also be in Miami or England or Africa at the same time, you can. Just like last night, wherever you were, wherever you and Chris came to me in this physical body and said, yo, I want him to on the show here today, you know. Where am I do? Right? You draw this into your existence, into your experience today. And that's why I get that feel, that urge. Let me call now, man. You
Touch.
know? Yeah. You know what? You know how I live my life now? Let me tell you how I live my experience now. I live life like it's a game I'm
Play
playing.
your plane. Play your
I'm
plane. Yeah,
playing a
man.
game. Life is never serious. Don't let nobody tell you life is hard and life is serious. It's nothing like that. You have to learn to play the game, man. It's a game, right? Yeah. And if you're not sure how to play the game, close your eyes. Tell yourself that you have. Just do something simple. Somebody's gonna carry a pen. Come give me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just play it. And the more this start happening, little by little, you start building up the confidence. You start getting to know your true self. You know, think about someone that you haven't heard from a little while, right? Think about them. pretend that you're on them on the phone talking. You don't even have to close your eyes. Just walk and just do like you talk. Wow, you good? Yeah, man, a long time in a say. Just start doing that. And then you realize it comes into your physical experience. And that is when you start saying, oh my God. All right. Quick thing. Never got a left arm ladder effect.
Yeah.
When I just start learning this thing, right? And I did the ladder effect thing. When I climb up the ladder and come off the ladder upstairs now on this rooftop, I start laughing to myself and everybody looking at me as if I'm crazy. And everybody and them say, what happened? What happened? I'm just say, no man, that's something to remember, because they were not in that conscious state of mind for me to explain it to them, for them to believe it. So I kept it to myself, you know? But it's amazing when you live from consciousness, man. Amazing, man. Amazing. Just live life as a game. Yeah? Point on something and say, that is me, and that is who I am. And see yourself right there. And that is where you are. The game of life I know to play by Florence Kovashin. Exactly. Exactly, my brother. You know?
So,
Yeah,
so,
but
so Chris, G-Mark,
yes, sir.
there's a piece of poetry that I wrote some time ago that's talking about life, playing that life is really a game that you should play. And it
Yes.
also speaks of, you know, the power to forget. Can you can you imagine how dreadful this life would be if we didn't have the power to forget about things? If you lived in the present memory of everything you've ever experienced, you can imagine how jumbled your mind would be.
Yes.
You have to be able
Uh,
to let some things go. And when I say let it go, I mean let go where you don't remember about it at all. No,
yes.
let me pull that poem up and read it to you. It's
Definitely.
called it's called To Forget. To
Yes.
forget is a gift unto man who was bestowed. We arrive there forgetting, none remembers the road. To remember is the quest of every thinking being called man. There's solution for request, but we've forgotten that we can. The truth that sets you free shall be remembered, not taught. The fruit reveals the tree, not for sale to be bought. He who is happy is a winner in life, and he who is not happy has lost. Be happy each day in this game that we play, and remember to forget at all costs. Let me read that last stanza again. He who is happy is a winner in life, and he who is not happy has lost. Be happy each day in this game that we play, and remember to forget at all costs. What are the things that we should forget?
Very powerful. Because the man who is happy, he's light. He's living in that present moment, enjoying his present life. And the man who is unhappy have a lot of memories, and he can tell you about him struggle and where him got through, and John know that my life was rough and all sort of thing. Anybody who's unhappy, sit down with them and ask them why. They're gonna go right back in the past.
Yes, yes. A man who is unhappy is not anything present that he's unhappy about. He's
Exactly.
unhappy about something in his past that he's not able to forget.
Exactly. So
So to
he has
forget is that
this heavy burden that he's carrying. He's carrying a load. What is the load that he's carrying?
Cross.
Yesterday, and yesterday doesn't even exist.
Carrying his cross, you know.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
Life
Yeah.
is beautiful, man.
And
But just detach.
yeah, just play the life. Just play. Don't take yourself too serious, because the self that you think is yourself is not even your true self.
Exactly.
So don't
It is
take
not.
yourself too serious. Don't get too high when you are applauded or praised about something.
Yes.
And don't get too low when you are corrected or chastised about something. In other words, don't take compliments too serious and don't take criticism too serious either. It's just a game.
Just be blank. You're neither positive nor negative. Yeah. You know, I like this topic that we're on, right? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Go ahead.
I like this topic that we're on because I just wrote in my book that I'm writing, I just wrote, observe without judgment. Every moment of your life, don't put judgment that this is a negative situation or this is a positive situation. Just be blank. Be the observer, be the witness of life. Don't have no meaning to nothing. Just like a child. In order to enter the kingdom of God, you have to enter like a child. Meaning, don't have no meaning to anything. You spank a child, in the next minute or two, they come, they hug you up. Right? Because they put meaning to nothing. The moment you put meaning to something, then that is what you start attracting immediately. You start pulling that energy to you. So if you see something as negative or someone says something that you interpret inwards as negative, then you're going to see that person as approaching you negatively. Yet still, the Bible is saying, soft answer turneth away wrath, which is soft answer is positive and the wrath is negative. So it is telling you that apply positive to negative, meaning don't see negative. That's what it basically is saying. Don't see negative. Just always be love. God is love. So if someone approach you and say, and they accuse you of something, you can say, my love, my brotherly love, my sisterly love. I don't understand what you're saying. I think there's a misunderstanding, but I can tell you this. If I did something wrong or say something wrong, I really don't mean it. You know, I greet you with love. Now, tell me now, what is that person going to respond like? It's, oh my God, I have so much love and respect for you. If I know I was doing something to hurt you, I would never do this. I am so sorry. I truly don't mean anything by it. Now, what can that person respond to you with?
With love.
Thank you. Or quiet. Are they going to be quiet and walk away if they're in that serious temper?
You have to reflect in tone, the same vibration, you know?
Exactly. So you have the power to observe in judgment or not. So that's why the Bible said, judge not, or else you'll be judged. Because whatever you put the judgment in, that's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to experience because you put meaning to it. So observe without judgment. Just see this life as you just come to this planet like an alien. And you don't know nothing. Even the water behind you don't even know what is that. You wonder what is that. You just live. Live and enjoy in observation, in that awareness, in that consciousness. You just know one thing, that you're love. You're blissful.
Means
So,
there's a virgin on TikTok, Sir Chris. I don't know if anybody has an African virgin. He's from Cameroon named Bakanga.
yeah.
And people ask him all the time what does Bakanga mean, and he said it means nothing. And they ask him, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am nothing."
Yes.
And everything that you apply, he said, it really is. And when you really check it out, it really is nothing. Because if it was what you thought it would, what it was, if it was truly what you think it is, then it would have to be the same for everybody. Everybody would have to agree that that's what it is. As long
Exactly.
as there are people that don't see it to be the same that means it really isn't what you think it is. It really
Exactly.
is not. In other words, a camel is not a camel any more than it is a dog. And you could have called. There are places where people look at a dog and call it something else. So if it was truly a dog, everybody would have to agree that it's a dog.
You know,
Do you get what I mean?
I like this way you're saying, my brother, because you know, even in the Bible, you know, when they speak about Egypt, they're looking on this physical place, but it's not. It's not. Nothing in the Bible is a physical. All these places that they say Nazareth have a meaning, Egypt have a meaning, Jerusalem have a meaning, but it's not physical. Everything is like from the skull. Yeah?
All
As a matter
esoteric.
of fact, Christmas with Santa Claus, right? And coming down the chimney is actually there's an oil that is in the back of our spine that is called Christo, right? And that oil moves from the bottom of the spine, goes all the way up the spine and past the vertebrate at the neck. When it crossed there, that is the resurrection, right? It is nothing physical. And they in return give us something similar like Santa coming down the chimney. That is where they get all of those things from, right? There's this oil that is called the Christo. It is an amazing oil, right? But I don't want to go in too much in detail. I rather you guys do your own research on it. Like how I bring it into the consciousness of this discussion. I know the information will come to you if you're interested. I really don't like to share all these information because it defeat the purpose of one's quest, one's interest, one's evolution of growth into finding true self. So what I like to do is tease the info. And then if you are ready to evolve, then you will go and do the daily duty of the divine source of creation to find your true self, you know? So I tell you this, man, if you follow me, I'll be on the phone until tonight and go right back till tomorrow because this is my life. I live in consciousness, right? So I think I have to go take with myself now.
Yeah, man. Go enjoy Barcelona, man. And,
Yeah, man.
fully
Yes,
appreciate your input
man.
here, my brother, and thank you for being obedient to spirit, and appearing.
Yes, man. I just love, man. Just I leave one thing with everyone. Just detach. Detach from everything. You're not attached. Remember, spirit, just like when I say when a man dead, him can't carry money with him, him can't carry this with him can't carry that with him. Right now, just see yourself as spirit. Detach from everything. Detach from judgment. There's no negativity. No matter what someone come to you with, even in front of a crowd of people, they try to whatever. Don't put meaning to it. Do not put meaning. The moment you put meaning to it, you are the one that is creating it, not that other person. Yeah? There's no negative, there's no positive. Love and blessings always. Just be conscious. Yeah?
Peace and love, my brother. One love,
Yeah,
man.
man. Love and blessings always. Give thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome always.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother.
All right. Enough love, man. Enough love, yeah?
Enjoy Barcelona. Who they playing anyways?
They playing real Societe or something like that.
Sociedad, yeah, it's real
Yes.
Sociedad they play.
Yeah, I want to tell you say it's 2-0 and I don't even see not one of the goal because I'm so into this wonderful, amazing feeling. You know? Yeah. But love, man, love and blessings always, man. Yeah?
Respect,
Thank you.
sir.
Anna. Yes, sir. Enough love. Blessed love. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah, man. That was the great G Mark, 13. Imagine that. Um, I was like
Yes, sir.
a relay. I thought about G Mark last night, and not for long, probably 2 or 3 seconds, just to myself. And I just left it there. And I said to myself, let's see if G Mark is going to show up tomorrow. I haven't heard him in a long time. I said, what's up with G Mark? That's what I said to myself. I haven't seen him in a while.
He hasn't been on the show in a good 6 months. And
Yeah.
like I said, this morning when I got up, right after I spoke to you this morning, I I pick up the phone to call him, and I just put the phone down and start. I said, "Nah, I'm not calling him." And I was about to jump in the shower when he called me, and as soon as he called me, I start laughing because as soon as he called me, I know he wasn't calling me to talk to me about anything that we not. I knew he was calling to talk to me about coming on the show. I was very sure that's what he was calling me about.
Yeah.
So as soon as he called, I started laughing, and he's like, "Why?" And he said, "Boy, I just got the urge. I got to come on the show and talk for about 5 minutes." I said, "Yeah, man, just yes, sir. There's only one consciousness, man. On the level of consciousness that we are, not just us as humans, all things are one on that level. Anything that you can imagine, you are one with that thing on the level of consciousness, which is the base level of all things. It's the original of all things. Consciousness is the original of everything, even God. What we call God, even what we call God, is pure consciousness. I tell you the difference between us in this existence and quote unquote God in the God existence. God is consciousness that is aware at all time that it is pure consciousness. But man is consciousness who goes in and out of awareness. This minute you're aware that you are consciousness, and next minute you are aware that you are Chris. And that's what limits you. But God is pure consciousness who remains aware at all times that he is pure consciousness. That's the
Yes.
difference.
The absolute truth. Sorry, Tia. We needed to hear that from Jibat today, you know? That is where we should be dwelling. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. And, you know, all will be added unto you. The kingdom of God is the purest essence, consciousness that, as you said, remains always just consciousness. The observer, and who's attached to nothing but can be anything in consciousness that it desires to be. But it has to be a detachment in order to change. Once you're attached to anything, then you cannot change. So there has to be that Judas um, principle within you. That's what Judas represents, the art of detachment, changing from one form to another, one belief to another, you know, the art of, you know, ascending, moving on to a higher level of consciousness or awareness. And, you know, all those levels of state of mind or state of consciousness they have to be within you in order for you to have that way to exercise your consciousness in many different ways. Here, Surti says, consciousness is nothingness. The Tao Te Ching. That's right. That remains nothingness at all times, faceless, formless, emptiness, and emotionless. That's right. That's the only way to detach. It's water that can become ice, vapor. It can become mist, snow, hot, cold, lukewarm, all these different variations. And it's formless. And it has no attachment to any of those forms. Therefore, it can be all it can be because it has no attachment to anything. Imagine that.
You know what, Sir Chris? People have a way of saying, of making the statement, and when they make the statement, it's in the, it's as a false portrayal of humility. It's like false humility when they say, I am nothing without God. And they think it's a very humble statement to say. No. You know what? You know what's the correct way to say that statement? I am nothing like God. And when I say nothing like God, I don't mean that you are not like God. You know? I am nothing just like God is nothing. God is no specific thing. That's what the true essence of you are. You are nothing just like oh that the God is nothing specific. In other words, you are nothing, but you are everything. That's why you are nothing. You are everything. That's why you are nothing. You are no specific thing. You are everything. That's what the God is. The God is nothing because it is everything. And that's what you are in essence. You are no specific thing because you are every single thing. That's why you shouldn't judge anything like GMAC just said. Don't judge anything because everything that you are judging is you. Because everything is you. You are everything and everything is you.
Yep. Fundamentally, yes. Absolutely. Because because we are form, we are body, which is our clothing for the spirit. It traps our mind into just that one thing, that one existence, not knowing that we are all that there is, you know. We're always all that there is. But we're being who we are right now as this body, this visible, vibrating body. And then everything else around us, we have decided to be. The telephone, the TV, the computer, the cars, the homes, everything that there is just consciousness being all these things. You know, that is the diversity and the dynamic, essence of consciousness. Has no limitations to it or to whatever it wants to be. It's just a decision. That's where the conscious mind comes in. The conscious mind is the deciding mind. What do you decide to be? You know, you're only being something which causes you to have that detachment inserted there because you're being something. You are not what you are being. You're just being that. But that's not what you are. At your core, at your essence, you are the nothingness, the consciousness that can be anything it desires to be. But anything that is being, that's not who or what it is. That's just what it's being. And it has to be that way so that you can change form. Because for anything that you are stuck. Can't move, cannot change. Thankfully, consciousness doesn't work like that. You're able to transition and so on and so forth. Okay. That said, we're talking today about. Oh, I saw Sir Marlon snuck into the room. Mr. Awaken and remembering that I am. Welcome, sir. I saw you came in briefly. And thing.
Yeah, one blessed love, one grand rise, and give thanks to each and every one. I didn't sneak in a circus. I made a bold entrance.
Okay.
One, give thanks to everyone, man.
I just saw we had G Mac on, you know.
Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. Come in, come here, everything.
Gave us some a good spanking. I think, huh? And got us in alignment on that. So, but we, during that time, we've had several people that joined, and I just want to welcome everyone here. Oh, and we're going to continue the rest of the class and get some more clarity and stuff. Yes, sir. T, what do you want to say?
No, I was just greeting Sir Marlon, who made a bold entrance, not stage left, front stage. Squaddy, how you doing, man? Everything good?
Yes, Scotty, all is well, man. Blessed love, blessed love. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We're coming in. We're forward, you know,
Yes, sir.
because you know it's great to forward and say, you know, the whole team on board, and you know, it's just a feeling we get. You know what I mean? Not necessarily that G-Man could have been here or want to write this, but it's a feeling we get. Say, you know, every time I rise on a Sunday and think my sister at the time not elapsed too far. But try to jump on, but sometimes I don't get because of obligation. Don't get for come on, but this morning for some reason, come on, I'm say, you know what, we need for forward, we need for forward as soon as possible. Until we can
Yeah.
want to hear this discussion and this topic right now. I think
Oh,
because I never ever think of myself as already know. You understand? Because just like I said, we are one consciousness. You understand? And so I can be over here with myself, having my own, um, having only my perspective. I have to share with the one body and hear the perspective of the one body. And so, because that is the difference with um, a lot of people, you know, where come up with an idea, and you know, all is within, you know, but we come up with an idea and we stick to it, and we're not fluid like water to take on the shape of um, other dimensions of where we are. You see what I did? So it's always good to hear, you know, because that's how we listen to Neville weekly. We in there and all them people who come forward and them thing they forget to keep being reminded and also to be awakened to something that we didn't awaken to before. You know what I mean? Based on perspective. So yeah, man, we that for
awake,
forward.
awakened, and remembering that I am nothing. I like that name that you use, Sir Marlon. Awakened and remembering, and I'm gonna put to it. Awakened
So
and
nothing.
remembering that I am nothing.
That was the ching, baby. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I
Oh,
like it. I like it. I want to keep it.
oh, champ.
Yeah, man, I want to add it. Yeah, man. The Tao Te Ching taught us a lot, man. You know, a lot of times I tell people that I listen to a 9 hour dissertation by when the blue palm different, and I have to remind them that I didn't do it in one take, you know.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
took me about 4 days, 5 days, but I do long driving, so you know, it soothes me, and when has a very good delivery when he does his books, his audio books. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, you can listen to Windy all day, man. Just based on his delivery.
That's
You know what I mean?
that's how I learned about Neville, you know.
Yeah,
If I'm going there,
That's a
I'm gonna see if I
that's a
can find
Tao
it.
Ching, baby.
yeah, man.
That's the Tao Ching right there, baby. That's my book, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna see if I
So
can find that audio. This was back in 2010. It was actually on TV, talking about consciousness. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, what I was hearing. Like, this man is on TV talking about this, you know, because I was exposed to it from the secret, so I couldn't believe it. And then he mentioned Neville. That Neville is his inspiration. Neville is his where he learned, you know, or that
yeah, man,
his
when from the school of devil, man.
school of Neville. So I said, no, I got to go to the source. So that's what I looked at it, and I never decided ever since. So that's all I learned of Neville. And from that day till now, start listening to Neville. So yeah, man, been there, one of my favorites.
You know,
Inspiration.
Certy introduced me to the Dao Ching, you know, and thing, you know, and when I start listening to him, I couldn't stop, man. You remember Certy? Couldn't stop, brother.
Yeah, man. This was what 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, 5 years
I
ago,
think, yeah, man,
2020,
on about that,
2020.
yes. Correct. Correct, my brother. Indeed, man. Couldn't stop. You know what I mean? And like I said, there are many other people that have done a presentation on the total chain, but by far, to me, the better one would be the one that Wendell did because it is just a unique presentation. Not to take away from the efforts of the others who have done it, but I would recommend to anyone in here who have not listened to it before.
We'll search it up, Sir Marlon, the Never Die version, and put it in the WhatsApp room so that so that everybody can really listen. It's really as a matter of fact, I need to listen to it again. I've listened to that 9 hour tape so many times, but I'm at a place in my experience right now where I need to go back and listen to it again because I really need to
Likewise.
do a lot of letting go right now.
Likewise. I'm pretty sure you don't realize that you just said the Neville Dyer version.
That's what I said, the Never Die.
Circuit, yeah,
The
yeah,
Never
man, you
Die
said
version.
the Neville Dyer one.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Same thing.
Same thing, man, because for man is a student after. I mean, you can call that man by the name of the teacher, because he's a student of. Yeah, I mean, so the Neville Dyer, indeed, you're not incorrect. We all here understood exactly what you said. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, without a shadow of a doubt, man, for real. But yeah, man, please, I implore each and every one here who have not listened to it. Listen, my recommendation is do it in increments. It's 9 hours, but when you do it in increments, just take in it. He does it in verses, right? It's what 81 verses, right? 30, 30.
Believe so, yeah.
So when you find that you become full at each listening, pause it. Remember where it's at. What I did, because I listened to it directly from YouTube, I didn't listen to anything else from YouTube. I just let it be there. And whenever I'm ready, again, I go back to it. But when I start listening, like I said, the presentation is such a blissful one. You know what I mean? You will just don't take in that more than you can meditate upon. So it's gonna cause you to reflect and go back and listen to his voice in your head and listen to what he's telling you and place yourself within that. So you realize that this is some straight words of wisdom that is it's like none other. The Tao Te Ching. You know what I mean? By Lao Tzu. Yeah, man. You can thank us later.
Uh, and why it's important to re-listen to or read any book. Remember Bob Proctor, who's read Think and Grow Rich hundreds of times, like literally. And people ask him why you read this book over and over. You own it, you've read it so many times. Why do you consistently read this book as much as you know in terms of your knowledge? And he said, well, when you read a book again and again and again, you don't see something in the book that was never there. That's obvious. The information did not change. But what changed was you changed. So you see something in yourself that was not there before. What does that mean? Your consciousness evolved and you now have a better comprehension of what you're reading or another outlook, another interpretation of what you read. Because many things don't only have one interpretation, they have many. And so the more you read, the more the other angle of the same sentence start to reveal itself. But it's not showing something that was not there in the book. It's showing something that was not there in you. Because you evolve over time from reading the same thing over and over and over, or other books, and you just start to show you in yourself. Yes, sir. Tim.
I just found the tape and put it in the room.
Oh, you okay? Nice. Stop.
In the WhatsApp room, yeah.
What's up? Wonderful. All right, guys. Today we're talking about persistent faith. Um, to have faith, it does not mean that you are persistent. It just means that you have faith. What is faith? Faith is just you having that acceptance of something that you're thinking of that exists. So you have, you know it exists. It's there. The problem is it doesn't just come because you have faith in it. It takes time. There's going to be what do you call it? No, a delay. Delay does not mean denial. It's just a delay. But oftentimes we think when something is delayed, it means that it is denied. No, it is just a delay. So you have to persist in your faith. Faith is like driving from 4 miles to Miami, right? Your faith is the progression of the car. If you stop, you're not going to get to Miami. Miami already exists. And you know it's there. But if you don't persist in the progression of driving the car, you're not going to receive or experience Miami. So faith is knowing that something already exists. The issue is persisting, meaning to progress, consistent persistence, to not stop, but go onward, forward, never backward, or never stagnant, just always progressing in that expectation. It is like a mom who's pregnant. She is very fearful that she's going to have a baby. She may not know what sex, may not know how many, but she knows she's pregnant. She knows. So she has the ultimate faith that something is coming. That's how you have to be. And that's what it means to have persistent faith. I'm going to play the rest of the tape, but I want to read something to further emphasize how faith really works and what is going on here between your expected experience or desire, what it is that you're seeking to experience, and the process of that. So here's a scripture that I never understood, made no sense to me, but one day I heard it on Neville. I never explained it perfectly. So here's what it says right here. This is Jesus speaking. I think he was telling a story. And he said unto them, which of you shall have a friend, and shall go unto him at midnight, and say unto him, friend, lend me 3 loaves. For a friend of mine in his journey is come to me, and I have nothing left. I have nothing to set before him. Here's what's important right here. And he from within shall answer and say, trouble me not, the door is now shut, and my children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give thee. I say unto you, though he would not rise and give him, because he is his friend, yet because of his importunity, he will rise and give him as many as he needeth. And I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you, seek, and he shall find, knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that seeketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. So let's go back right here and explain what's going on here. This is clearly, it makes no sense if you take this thing literally, because nobody's going to go to their friend and ask for bread, and his friend say, leave me alone, I'm in bed with my children. Nobody's going to say that. You guys are friends. Your friend is going to either tell you, I don't have any, I'm sorry, but he's not going to tell you to leave me alone. This is a conversation going on within your consciousness, between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. That's all this is telling you right here. Okay? It says right here, and he said unto them, which of you shall have a friend? That friend here is the subconscious, and shall go unto him at midnight and say unto him, friend, lend me 3 loaves. Anytime you have a desire or a conception, you have to first conceive, crucify, then resurrect. That's the 3 loaves right there. It takes 3, or never says 72 hours. Not literally, but just speaking on that level there, just to make it plain. So the 3 loaves is conception, crucifixion, crucifying your conception to yourself, like a woman crucified the baby to her womb, and then delivery date, whenever the baby is delivered 9 months later, whenever, that's the resurrection. Okay, 3 loaves. Verse 6 says, for a friend of mine in his journey is to come to me, and I have nothing to set before him. A friend of mine here is the thing that you have conceived in your mind that you want to experience. Okay, that's your friend of mine has come to me. A friend of mine is in his journey. So your thoughts are always like a journey, they're coming and going and whatnot. And it's come to you. This idea has come to you. Okay, the idea come to you. That's your friend. And I have nothing to set before him. Okay, and he from within shall answer and say, that is your subconscious mind now, trouble me not, the door is now shut, and my children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give thee. The children are just all the desires, ideas, conceptions, thoughts, whatever you want to name them. That's what's in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the mind of wisdom, and the conscious mind is not the mind of wisdom. So it doesn't know how anything is going to be done. So it is always questioning how, when, where, if, but, and so on and so forth. But here's what's important in the next verse. It says, I say unto you, though he will not rise and give him, this is Jesus speaking, though he will not rise and give him because he is his friend, yet because of his importunity, he will rise and give him as many as he needed. The word importunity means persistence. Okay? That's really what it means. Because of his persistence, meaning persistent knocking on the door or persistent faith, your subconscious mind has no choice but to rise and give you as many of your desires that you have conceived in your mind. Okay? So that's what that verse is saying. That's what the scripture is saying. It's talking about your consciousness, the conscious mind, the doubter, the devil, the unbeliever, if you want to call it that, the unfaithful, is trying to conjure up faith. But you can only conjure up faith the more you persist. And once you persist, the subconscious mind recognizes that and will rise. And it says, and I say unto you, this is Jesus now, ask and it shall be given you, seek and he shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that seeketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. It is telling you that you have to be the one who is consistently persistent. You have to, all the onus is on you, the one who's seeking, looking, um, have a desire. You've conceived something in your mind that has never been made, never been in existence. You have no knowledge of how it's going to be done. The airplane, when it was conceived in the mind of the Wright brothers, nobody had ever done it. So they have no examples on how to design it, you know, from. They had to use their imagination and imagine how it would fly and this and that and the third and whatever. So, but they persist and they failed many times, over and over and over and over. But because they persist in their assumption that this is possible, it eventually became possible. And as a result, today we have planes flying all over the world, not just in America, but all over the globe. Because these guys persisted in their assumption, as Never would say. Persistent assumption, you assume something is possible, and now your faith has to be exercised. You know, are you faithful to your assumption? You know, and so if you really trust or really accept that this thing is possible, then you will not cease to persist because you know, everybody knows Miami is in Miami, so nobody ceases to persist in driving to Miami or however means you're going to get there because you know. It's so easy to do because you know it is there. The challenge is doing something that is not evident, that is not there, never been done, never been seen, never been experienced, never made $1 million, never made $100,000, never made $10,000 in a week or a month or whatever. Anything that, you know, seems totally impossible to you, the individual desiring, you're going to have shaky faith in that. But you have to have the faith of a mustard seed, which the mustard seed can only be a mustard seed, so it cannot change its fate. All it knows to be is a mustard seed. So if you can have the same faith as that in your desire, whatever it is that you're conceptualizing in your mind, if you can hold that concept, and that's what faith really is to hold the concept as is and never change. That's faith. It's really not, faith is, you know, basically sticking to your guns, as a topic we had the other night. No change, stick to your guns. That whatever it is that you can conceptualize in your mind, it is possible. And you just remain and travel.
Sir Chris,
Yes, sir.
let me interject with you right there real quick just to add something. I don't know if anyone here has ever read the story of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was an inventor in the, don't quote me on the years back in the time, but it's back in the time when Edison was up and running as the authority on electricity and stuff like that and all of that. Can you hear me, Sir Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. But I wanted to highlight is when they describe Nikola Tesla, and Nikola Tesla said in all of his inventions, he created them mentally, meaning he created them within his mind. Every working part of every invention that he's ever had, he played it through his mind before anything became a prototype. That means every inner workings of every device, he, I wouldn't say conceptualized, but for example, a pendulum watch, as an example, he knew every piece of wheel and why it's necessary to be there. He knew every every dimension of the spindle of every wheel and why it was necessary. Now, the point of me bringing this up at this point in time is if you can imagine or create something in your mind from start to finish, every inner workings of that said thing that you have created based on a need, a purpose, and you created it and you see it working within your mind, not working based on just your need, but working based on um, the ability of it working, meaning you can't just imagine seeing um, a wheel turning just by itself and there's no outside force turning it. You understand? There has to be force acted upon the wheel to turn it. You have to see that force. Where is that force coming from? So therefore, you see a wheel turning, then you have to say, okay, how do I get the wheel turning? Because I need the wheel to turn something else, to create something else. But what do I need to get the wheel turning? Boom. What I'm talking about is you seeing that wheel turning by a wind. By the wind, you create, a wind turbine, which the wind is already there. Yeah, the wind is already there. So you create the surface area for the wind to go upon, make it loose enough and attach to a spindle that turns the other spindle on the wheel itself that you want to move. And then when the wind acts upon it now, which is natural, it turns. There you go. You have completed that imagination. So now you realize that it is possible because you have already seen it within your mind. It could have been also water, any type of force that is natural acting upon another thing, creating work. Then, you know what I mean? That's pretty much what I'm saying. So we all have that ability. And Nikola Tesla is the example of that, but not just him, our own minds. We allow, you can't see A to Z without going through all the areas you need to get to Z to make this creation come to fruition. Does that make any sense, Surface? The possibility of it.
Absolutely.
And that's how we know that we are creators. We are, we can do anything we set our minds to. We have to be thorough with our creation and then leave it be and let it manifest itself, in some instances. But while you're out right there talking about that, I felt, the need to highlight that right there, so everyone can just imagine what it would take to, you know what I mean, to eliminate what is sought to be the impossibility into possibility. Back to you, sir.
This is a inner size, I like to call it. You have exercise on the outside, but you have inner size. That's the mental, practical application. I was listening to a Neville tape earlier, and it says that there's two creation that is going on. You have the inner creation, and then in the outer, you have the two worlds, one within, one without. But the one without comes after the one within. In other words, you think of something, and that thought becomes manifested. The first thing is the thought, the inner world, and then the externalization of it is the outer world. It is the inner world is the Father, the outer world is the Son. That's why Scripture says, I, the outer, and my Father, the inner, are one. But my Father is greater than I. Why is it greater? Because everything is coming from the internal, the the inside. A baby comes from inside the mother, not from outside. All the developmental experiences and whatnot goes on in there. And then it is externalized as evidence that something was going on, something was taking place. So you have the the example of how consciousness works just by looking at how human beings or animals conceive. There's always something going on in secret on the inside. In most cases, except for animals, you don't see when people are having sex, human beings, that is. But somebody has sex when you see the woman walking around with a big tummy, that she's pregnant. She had to have done something. But the sex went on in secret, private. And then the evidence now is starting to show the development of the manifestation. We don't see that in our own mind, obviously. That's totally secret. In terms of you conceiving something in your mind, you're the one conceiving with yourself, nobody else. You understand? The creation that goes on within yourself is by yourself. But you have to have a duality, in a sense, going on there, which is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind coming together, as I read earlier, in union to conceive an idea. The evidence of it now is when things start to happen, never call it inspired action. When you're inspired to start moving and doing something, or somebody comes to you or call you or reaches out to you, whatnot. This is like when the woman's stomach is protruding now, showing evidence that something is going on. It's externalizing itself right in front of your eyes. The baby is still inside, but it's showing evidence of growth. So when you're doing things now to bring forth your conception, that is the protrusion of the desire. It's not fully to form, but it is forming. And the day when you sign off on the deal, whether it be you're buying a house, a business, a car, buying that round trip ticket to your favorite destination, or you're changing jobs, they finally call you and give it the interview, and you're starting on Monday and whatnot. This is the day of manifestation. This is the day of your thought or desire or idea made manifest. This is the resurrection when it comes to coming to light. So everything is relative. I've always said it as a child. All you have to do is study nature, and you will see this is exactly how consciousness works. It's just that consciousness works in a way that we do not understand how it does it. We just know that it communicates by telepathy with other minds, with other individuals, in order to make your idea, your conception, come into form. But we do not know the inner works. The Father seeth in secret. You understand? It knows the way. You don't consciously know and does not need to know. It is not your job to know how. Your only job is to conceive the idea. You have one job, conceive it. Then catch the mood, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Never said just to think from the end, from the very beginning. What does that mean? To put yourself in the place that you desire to be, to experience. Put yourself there and let that be your dwelling place. That's like this, that's called the secret place of the Most High. You're dwelling in that place, that state of being. Only when you do that now, that is where your faith is persistent, because you're not looking at evidence around. You're not looking at facts. You're not looking at the fact that you don't have the money yet. You're not looking at the fact that you may have just lost your job, or you just was reassigned to a different department that pays less now, and all these different things. You're not paying attention to that. You're completely dwelling in the secret place of the Most High. Why is it a secret place? Because it's not seen, but you see it in your imagination, and you're living there. Okay? Now you have to just hold on to that. And then that is where it's called persistent faith. You have to hold on to that imaginary place. You have to be like a child. No one is more imaginative than a child. That's why scripture always tell you, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven until you are born again. It doesn't mean to go back in your mother's womb, like Nicodemus was saying. You understand? It was just saying you have to unlearn what you have learned, okay? You have to delete all the garbage that you were taught, undo all of that stuff, okay? And then learn what it is that you really need to do. And then do that. Let that become your new your new perspective, your new perception of yourself. So you have to unlearn all the old stuff. And that is becoming a child again. You come back, as G-Max said earlier, clean slate. A child is always clean slate, has not been taught any foolishness yet, just imaginative, just being natural, like nature, no effort whatsoever. A child comes to you and say, Daddy, Mommy, can I get a bicycle? And you tell them no. They come back tomorrow again. Daddy, Mommy, can I get a bicycle? As the scripture has said, because of their importunity, their persistence, eventually you break down and tell them, okay, I'll see what I can do, because they were persistent. But grown-ups are not like that. We get our feelings hurt. We get discouraged. We start to remember all the many times we've tried and failed, and that become your reality. And you just accept that, well, I guess this is another time I'm not going to get what I set out to get. And so I'll just, wait on God. All this foolishness we've been taught to wait until it's your turn. You decide when it is your turn. And you also decide when it is not. No one else is deciding for you but you. It is all upon you. It's all up to you. Scripture tells you, it's not me saying it. Scripture tells you that knock and the door will be open. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it shall be given. Everything is always saying, you have to do it. Everything already exists for you to have or to experience. But you have to be the one that decides upon that. No one else is going to do it for you but you. And people can tell you all them want, that how great you are and all the things that you can be. But if you don't believe it, it won't happen. It's still going to come up. It's still going to be up to you to believe or accept that it is possible. You know, I know we've gone way over the time. I know we have the video and whatnot. I'm not going to bother to play the rest of the tape, but I'm going to put it in the room so that you guys can, listen to it. Well, you get the gist of today's, lesson. Persistent faith. Faith is not something that is you just have. You have to persist in it. It's like just having a car. Yeah, you have the car, but is the car drivable? Can it move? Can it progress? And then when you do start out to it, towards your goal, your destination, you cannot get to your destination unless you continue to drive the car. Okay? So the car, you can say, is your vehicle or the faith that you're using, but it has to be progressive. It has to persist. It has to keep moving towards the goal. If it stops anywhere, for whatever reason, you will not reach your goal. So your persistence, your faith depends on your persistent. How persistent are you in that thing? And it's easier to accept, as I said earlier, when you know for certain that the thing that you have conceived in your mind or that you're desiring to experience in your life somewhere, somehow, you know it is possible. You have no doubt that it is impossible. You know that it is. The more you know that something is possible, the easier or the longer you're going to hold your feet, because you will not relent. You will not stop until it is manifested. And in the book Think and Grow Rich, there are several. Matter of fact, I got it right here. I don't know if you guys have this book, Think and Grow Rich, okay, by Napoleon Hill. There are several examples in here where there was a guy digging for gold and the line broke, the vein, they call it, got disconnected and he couldn't find it anymore. And so he gave up and sold the equipment to a junkyard guy. This guy now took it to someone who knows about gold or gold digging or whatever. And that guy told him, oh, where was it? He was digging right here. All he has to do was dig 3 more feet. And if you don't find it 3 more feet, move over to the right 3 more feet or whatever. You're going to find it. Just stay right there and just dig 3 more feet. You'll pick it back up again. And so said, so done. He picked the vein back up again and they hit the mother lode. It was always right there. But because the guy lost faith in that there was any more that would that exist, he gave up and left. Another example was Henry Ford, the maker of Ford motor cars, wanted to create an 8-cylinder engine, did not know how to do it. No one has ever done it. And he told his guys, I want it. And every time he went to them, they said, it's not possible. We've tried. And he said, I want it. Keep trying. And it took them a whole year. But after a year, I think they tried 2,000 times, and the 2001 attempt, they figured it out and discovered how to create the 8-cylinder engine. And see, that's the epitome of persistence. Doing the same thing, not doing the same thing over and over, but having the same consistent, persistence over and over, chasing that one thing that you conceive in your mind. Henry Ford conceived that he could create the 8-cylinder engine. It was never done before. And he had no reason to believe other than, his faith or his expectancy within his own self. He has no reason to believe that it was possible because it was never done. But there's something within him, the feeling, the knowingness, the awareness that it is possible. And so even when they came to him and told him no, he said, persist. This book right here, the secret of this book is that word, persistence. When you read this book, sometimes it doesn't mention the word, but just from the stories. Another story was this guy wanted to work with Edison, Thomas Edison, I believe it was. And no, it wasn't Thomas Edison. It was it Carnegie, Dale Carnegie. And the guy told him, that's never going to happen. That's not possible. But he persisted. They didn't even use that word, but he continued to attempt to work with this guy, and eventually the opportunity came and he was able to work with the guy that he dreamt about working with all of his life, but he had to persist in his own assumption that it was possible. Okay, so the first thing that he had was the faith that it is possible, but in order for him to make it possible, he had to persist in his faith. Nothing is going to happen unless you persist. It's not going to happen as you conceive it. Everything takes time. The seed doesn't grow out of the ground the very first day that you plant it. Okay, not even the first week or the first month. You understand? But because the seed persisted in staying in the ground, because it has nowhere else to go but in the ground, and water came on sunlight, it didn't have to do anything but plant itself in the ground. And the water and sunlight came that it didn't have anything to do with. It didn't have to do that. Just do one thing. Stay in the ground. That is your persistence. And the faith is already the seed. The seed is already faithful to what it is. It cannot be anything but what it is. Whether it be a mustard seed or a pineapple seed or apple seed, it doesn't matter. The seed content is its faith. But it in planting it into the ground, that is its persistence. It has to go, it has to stay where it is going to flourish or become what it is in nature already. And so that's what we have to do with our own mind. We have to plant our ideas in the right mind, not in the conscious mind. The conscious mind only conceives the idea, but you have to then plant it into the subconscious. The subconscious mind is the universal mind, the mind of wisdom, the mind in which everything goes and to which everything comes from. Everything has to go into it in order for it to come back. That's why they say it is better to give than to receive. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. I would say like this: you must give in order to receive, not better, because it almost implies that you can receive sometime or give. No, you must give in order to receive. Plain and simple. All right. So you have to give your attention, give your persistence to your desire, and it will manifest in due time. All right. So we hope that today's lesson was informative, educational. Hope you guys, definitely received the lesson here. And now you can persist in whatever desire that you have conjured up in your own mind, and sustain that desire, sustain in your persistence, and it will come to light. It will manifest. But you have to stick to it. Stick to your guns, and everything will come to light. Any final words before we close out? It is now 12:30. Went over a little bit, but that's perfectly fine. Any final words? Final acknowledgement?
I have one thing to say. I really enjoyed today. I've learned a lot today, although I am, in motion, but it was very educational and also mind stimulation. Especially the fact that, I always used to tell people that God is conscious. Have you ever seen conscious? No. Have you ever seen subconscious? No. So have you ever seen God? No. God is conscious. And I don't know the guy name, but the one that was speaking earlier.
GMAC.
DMAC?
G as in good.
Okay, DMAC. When I tell you he put that thing in simple form, he put it in simple form. And that was very, very mind-blowing, and especially with the desire part, that we have everything, we should desire nothing. So that was very, very, you know, educational for me. Now I'm going to be looking at things totally different than what I used to, you know, imagine. So thank you. Mhm.
Absolutely right. That was informative, eye-opening. Um, it is a fundamental truth that he was exposing there. We are consciousness, therefore we already have everything. What's really desiring here is your body, the vessel, the mind that's desiring what already is, but is not aware that it already has everything and whatnot. So wonderful way to depict it and look at it from that perspective. Anyone else? Anyone else learned anything? Have any acknowledgement and whatnot? Okay. Well, sound like everybody is filled to the brim. So that said, I want you guys to have a wonderful rest of your day. Not wonderful, but wonder filled. Filled with wonder throughout the rest of the day and the week. And may all your desires or conceptions come to light. Love you all. Bless up yourselves. And we'll see you guys again next week, Sunday, right here again.